What's up, everybody? How you doing? Good to see you. Hi, Samus. Hello, Caitlin. My webcam broke again. We'll fix it. There it is. Way better. All right, look at that. Isn't that nicer? That's nicer. How many of you are excited about multi-streaming? Are you ready to be absolutely and utterly confused by what's happening on stream simply because they won't let me show you both streams? Although I think we figured out that we can probably do that if we use a separate window. I think it'll be all right. I guess we'll see. We'll see what all the other cool kids are doing, and then we'll make a decision then. But yeah, if I stream over on Twitch and then I put it here, I wonder what's going to happen. I really don't know. The options are endless. So Minecraft works again today. Hello, DJ. Good to see you. Hi, Stephen Brown. Hello, Dragon. Hello, Gabriel. So Minecraft apparently works, so we should be able to get on that when we jump over to Twitch. And before that, we're going to be talking about competency. The importance of knowing what you're doing and why that's a big deal. Sounds like an obvious thing, but some people need to hear the obvious. Otherwise, they don't get it. You know what that's like. Oh, how's your week been so far? It is currently, what is it today? Tuesday? Yeah, I think it's Tuesday. Yeah. Good gravy. It's only Tuesday. Feels like a Friday. I don't know what it is about this week, but it is. Oh, I know. Actually, I do know what it is about this week. I have been getting up early, and now I'm tired and grumpy. Oh, I was grumpy. Working on the stream today. I'm just getting things ready. I'm like, and things weren't working, and I'm just like, who am I mad at? The computer? It's not its fault. Am I mad at myself? No, I'm trying. What am I mad at? Like, what's the point of being upset? Because it doesn't help anything. But yeah, that's where we're at today. I'm doing my best to just kind of stay chill. I have a good question, actually, for you who've been watching various streams. Have you seen anybody using the Elgato webcam teleprompter thing where they look at you the entire stream? Is it weird? Yeah, I'll be on both. We'll see how it goes. I think I've got the well, yeah, grumpy. Yeah, but it's only me in the room. That's the thing. No, the grumpy eyebrows have no effect on the PC. So, what's the point of being grumpy? But I don't think that's how it works. Jade has on pre-order? No, not right now. I have to get it set up. It's going to take a minute. It's going to take a little minute. And then we'll get it. It'll be fine. Need a Snicker? Dude, well, I had a good breakfast. Actually, I woke up and my daughter made me a lovely egg and cheese. And then I played a little bit of Honkai. And then I was waking up and having coffee. And then I had a lovely Devo. Like, things are fine. You know. Look at the camera and it's, yeah. I mean, it's hard not to. I mean, if you're doing dual monitor, you know, I have a monitor here, so I'm able to look at chat here, and then, you know, I can kind of go up and down. So it's a little bit better, but it's still not dead at the camera the entire time. I don't know what that would be like, because I think part of the issue is people who are watching Twitch, they might actually be weirded out by someone who's spending the whole time looking at them, and, you know, as though with the unblinking eye staring directly into their soul, as though it was nothing. You know, like, I just feel like that little off, at least in my culture, generally speaking, we look someone in the eye, and then we look off to the side. Like we'll be like, "Hey, how you doing?" And then we'll look away, and we'll talk to the air while they're there, and then we'll look back, and then we'll acknowledge you still exist, and then we'll go talk, not looking at the person. Like, could you imagine talking to someone and they're just like looking at you the entire time, and they just won't look away, like they just want to stare at you for every part of the conversation for 4 straight hours? I'm not sure that's right. On-screen viewing of people's faces is not natural IRL when someone faces that close because they are absolutely about to kiss or punch you. Yes, that's what I'm saying, right? It's a little weird. Like I'm used to look in the eye and then move to the side, look at the eye, move to the side, you know, whatever. Maybe not this, you know, that's a little bizarre, but you know, that's just how I don't know. Anyway, I don't know any other culture. I don't really speak in any other culture, but I know here, looking someone in the eye for that period of time is either aggressive or off-putting. it's not normal. So I don't know. Maybe that camera's not or that teleprompter is not the best idea. I don't know. I've got it down here, which means, I mean, weirdly, I think we talked about this before. This is kind of like I'm looking at your chin or like or like your neck. Which, is that better? I don't know. Like, but if a dude's like looking at you like that, that's probably a problem if you're a lady, you know? If you're that close to the screen, maybe get a new eyeglass prescription. Well, it's not that. It's you know, some people frame themselves, you know, pretty close. So they're like this. And so that's a little bit of, so, you know, it's a little awkward. I'm back here on purpose so I can gesticulate. This has gotten discussed by Academy of Lawyers who have had to depositions trial by Zoom, how it affects the testimony trial. Really, that totally makes sense. Totally makes sense. Because it is a different environment. It's a completely different feel, you know, than having to sit in a box and talk or look at the judge or, you know. Yeah. I wiggle. That is true. I am absolutely a wiggler. It keeps me awake and it keeps you awake. That's part of it. Yep. Yeah, so let's get it. I guess we can get into the content. I really am a little bit tired today, just because, you know, I went to bed late last night. I've been playing Honkai, you know, like sort of in my spare time. Like last night, I finished stream. I went upstairs. I had supper quickly, ran back downstairs, and then we had like a 2-hour taco team meeting. And normally I start working at 7, but it was already 7:30 and I hadn't seen my family for more than 20 minutes. So we went and sat upstairs and we're just, you know, talking and whatever. And then everybody kind of gravitated towards their phones and kind of sitting in the same room, chatting and playing and chatting and whatever. And I'm on Honkai. And what's fun is that I'm starting to get momentum. I'm starting to figure out the game. And it's like, I can do some serious damage now. And so it's really fun, because it's one thing to play the game and like sit there and kind of barely win and you're like, oh, that was really something. And it's another thing to just walk in there and just utterly destroy the bad guy. You know, you just kind of feel, rah, look at what I did. Anyway, I know it's all RNG, so it's not really me. And last night we worked out. Like, I actually pumped some iron and whatnot. Did I cardio? No, I didn't cardio. But I will go for a walk at some point. My problem with cardio right now is that I wear shorts and it's cold outside. And having to put on pants is just one step too far. You know what I mean? One step too far. Pants are the enemy, as far as I'm concerned. I have a crisis because I'm not sure when I go down to Texas and I meet everybody, is it okay for me to wear shorts? Do I have to wear pants? I'm supposed to be in this, like, relaxed environment for the first 2 days, so like wearing my cargo shorts and pants and my red shirt makes sense. You know, they can kind of identify me and whatnot. And then when I meet all the mucky mucks at the actual convention, then I probably should wear pants. Hi, I'm a professional and I don't wear pants. I mean, that's, yeah, I don't know. Let's leap into the content, shall we? specifying that you are wearing shorts, not just not wearing pants. I know, isn't that funny? Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's more fun my way. Should be able to make that a little bit bigger, actually. 265. That's the big. There you go. Nailed it. 265 is exactly right. All right. Turn on the sleepy music. Yeah, I know people wear shorts, but do they wear them to like conferences and meeting people for the first time? I kind of doubt that. So yeah, that's good. I mean, and I'm from Alberta, man. So like, wearing shorts at minus 25 is not unheard of where I'm from. So it's not the issue of the weather. It's more the issue of it's the right thing to do. All right, tell you what, I'm going to pray real quick, and then we'll get into the talk. God, thank you for everybody here. I pray that you'd glorify yourself through the stream. Draw people who need to hear it. Help me to speak well. You have built us to be special. You're amazing in your gift to be able to do that for us. We exist to serve you and to serve others. Help us to learn how to do that better through this material. We're going to talk about competencies, and we know that not everybody can do everything, but you've given us a purpose. If we exist in this world, we have a reason to be here. Help us to understand what that is and to maximize it for your glory. In Jesus' name, amen. Yeah. So today what we're going to be talking about is competency. We're going to be talking about competency. And again, it's funny because they try to do alliteration, right? Like that's what they're shooting for, is to be clever through alliteration. But it's, there you go, ramen. See, we did it, ramen. If you're here and you want to say amen, just click the ramen button. That's what we're doing here, apparently. It's competency is essentially the ability to get something done, right? They're trying to be alliterative, so like if, because it's like character, competency, courage, they're trying to do that. So you have to reach for a word that starts with C, which it's a good enough word, but it really comes down to not necessarily being great at something. It comes down to being, can you give something? Can you contribute to what is happening? And especially leadership development, as a leader, can you make things happen? Or are you just a talker? You just someone who speaks? Hi, Sarah Sleepy. I know plenty of people who really like to be the idea people. I've had, this is a temptation for so many, and that is that they're like, I'm full of ideas. I have so many ideas, and all my ideas are really great ideas, but I don't have any resources, and I don't have any real good talents, and I don't have any time, and I don't have any like connections or whatever, but I've got these great ideas. So my wish is that I would be the idea person, and then everyone else can pay for it and do the work and sell it and connect to people and utilize it and make it perfect, and I'll just get credit for being the idea person who's in charge. So I want the glory but not the work. And well, there are think tanks. Most of the time, the people at the think tank are people who are competent. They know what they're doing. They've done the work. They've put in the study. They've, blood, sweat, and tears their way into being someone who's worthy of sitting there and hearing their opinion. More often than not, the people that I hear wanting to be the idea people are not people that necessarily have the greatest ideas, or have not spent time in that field, or have not spent a lot of time around people, so it's tend to be pie in the sky stuff that would never work anyway. It's a way out. So the way this one is phrased here is, a leader of character must be capable of convincing followers that he or she is competent enough to get the job done. And I don't know, I wouldn't say the job, but a job, right? You want whatever you're trying to do, you can't do everything. And your job as a leader is not to be the best at everything. That is definitely a misnomer when it comes to leadership. It's not you're the best person there. It's you have leadership qualities, right? You can actually be the least talented person there, which is good because you're surrounded by very talented people, but because you have leadership capacities and you can organize, you can administrate, you can confront when there's problems, you can make sure that people are showing up on time. You have a vision for the future. You can cast that vision so people can understand it. You can unite people on that common vision. You can help people communicate between each other. You can stop personality problems from happening, like your leadership stuff. That way, the people who are talented, the whatever you're doing, programmers or artists or people who are flying the airplane or delivery, whatever it is, drivers, doesn't matter. But they are better than you at it. And that's perfectly fine. But they will not follow you, and they will not come find you, and they will not be wanting to be under you if they don't think you're good at anything, right? If they don't see a level of competency. A competent leader has the ingenuity and creativity to figure out what to do and how to do it in order to get results. The leader has the vision, right? The leader is the one who's looking forward. The leader is the one who goes, okay, this is what I think could happen to be able for us to accomplish the vision. Now, it's not they're the only ones who know, because one of the things that figure out what to do could be is to look to the people who are experts and let them speak to say, this is, their idea is the best idea. So we're going to go with that, or based on all the stuff that we've talked about, this is where we've landed. Let's go. We're going to try and experiment. You're going to do that, and you're going to do that, and we're going to see which one works. Like the leadership, it's not about we have to come up with the idea. It's about we have to be the ones who are willing to, put our foot down, or willing to make the say go or whatever, start the process, take the risk, and go. Let's do this thing and see what happens. Then people will come behind and go, yeah, okay, this person wants to get some stuff done. I will lend my talents. You often, however, as much as I've just said everything I've just said, one of the ways that you can gather a team, and we talk about this a lot in the taco class, and that's the idea that you cannot do this alone. One of the struggles that you have on Twitch is that people struggle with mental health issues and social anxiety and stuff like that, and they kind of want to instinctually work by themselves. And the argument from my side anyway is you can't. There's nowhere in the Bible that says you can. There's nowhere that makes sense that you can do any of this by yourself and do it well. So therefore you need a team. Therefore you need to share your needs. Therefore you need to open up your heart. Therefore you need to cast a vision, right? All that stuff we learn in class. But the reason people are going to come behind you, the reason people are going to be willing to help you and be willing to try and be willing to lend you their time, energy, effort, finances, whatever it is because you've demonstrated a level of excellence or a level of passion, a level of ability. If you are inadequate, if you aren't trying, if you are overreaching, saying I can do things, and then you're never able to get there, or you just plain stink at it, then what's going to happen is the talented people, the people that you want on your team, the ones who are on fire, who are ready to go, they're not going to come behind. They're not going to follow you because they're like, well, this person doesn't know what they're doing, and I do not want to sit here and clean up their messes. I don't want to sit here and be connected to somebody who I do an excellent thing, they do a crappy job, and we call it, my name gets attached to that. I don't want that. Right. So I think you're almost required to have a level of competency, a level of excellence, some kind of exceptional talent that people can look at, or at least tenacity. Even if your talent is tenacity, you're trying really hard, that people will follow behind that and go, you know what, that I can get behind. But if you are no good at it, or you do not try at it, or you're not trying to get better at it, or you just want to be the idea person, all you're going to end up doing is pushing away talented people, pushing away those who could be helping you most. Sarah says, my assumption that I've come to know about the role of leader is just usually they're the person that takes charge, not the person that knows everything. I know very wise people, but they don't have the talent to be in the leader role. And that's the way that, you look at the way the Bible is structured, the body of Christ, like the church. He's like, okay, here are leaders. They're not more important. They're not better, smarter, whatever. They just happen to be positionally in authority And because that's just how the universe works. Like within the Trinity, the Godhead itself, there's a hierarchy. So therefore, that's the way the world works. There are hierarchies. That's okay. Doesn't mean you're more important. Doesn't mean you're more valuable. Doesn't mean you're more loved by God or anything. It just means you're the one who's been given that task. You can't lead unless there's anybody behind you doing the work, right? That's the thing. If you are a leader, then you better be leading people towards something that they can do. It's or like with teachers, there are people who are just really good at teachers, and one of the criticisms of the teachers, like, how come you're not out there doing things? Shouldn't you be the one, whatever the thing is? So like, well, yeah, I've learned how to do it, and now I'm teaching others how to do it. Right? That is a valuable role. I don't have to go out and do it. Now I've learned how to do it, but I'm going to lead other people in how to do it. Right? That's part of it. Like a preacher. I know how to read the Bible. I know how to teach you the Bible, but I'm not supposed to be out there doing all the evangelism and doing all the visitation and doing all the connection to people and connecting with everybody in the community. That's not the job. The job is to equip people for them to do the job. In the same way, the idea of leader, leader, discerner, whatever it is, that role is critical, but it is not everything. You do need to have a level of competency, though, I think. Hello, Terry. Good to see you, DP. I've heard of the Centurion model of leadership, that they've done all the stuff an ordinary soldier has done 1,000 times, that they can teach others. Yeah, well, again, the leader and the teacher aren't necessarily the same thing, right? You can be a great leader and not a great teacher. I think the leader needs to have knowledge, but this is why in the corporate world, they can grab a leader from like a different company, like a CEO from a completely different company that doesn't even make the same stuff, and they could take them and plug them in as CEO of a company that makes things they've never made before or does things they've never done before, and that person can still flourish because the gift of leadership has less to do with knowing exactly what's going on and more about how you can organize, inspire, equip, connect people to vision it out, right? They don't need to know how to run everything. They don't need to even know how to run anything. What they need to know how to do is how to connect people together and to lead them well. So therefore, yes, I think a teacher, a good soldier, is someone who has gone through the ranks. That's how the soldier thing works, right? They've gone through the ranks and they've shown themselves competent in multiple areas. But for example, that's not how chaplaincy works in the army. When you, or the military, when you become a chaplain, you are immediately given a higher rank than you would have earned if you just come out of boot camp. And the reason is because you demonstrated competency in a different area, and you need that level of authority in order to do the job. So you haven't demonstrated you're a great soldier. What you've demonstrated is you have a unique skill set and require that level of authority to accomplish the goal, right? Being the only one to do everything is just gatekeeping, not leading. And it's ineffective. It's ineffective. So long story short, you need to be good at something. I've seen plenty of people who have big dreams, big ideas, big plans, and they get tripped up by believing that they're going to create the organization, they're going to create the big end goal, and they don't have to do the hard work to get there, and they don't have to demonstrate competency to show people they know what they're doing first. They just assume, since they have an idea, other people should come and follow them. You can't get away with this. You have to be good at stuff, at something. I think of I'm trying not to use any specific examples. I've got some in my head, and I don't want to use them as people that I know. But basically, it's the person that has a great idea, wants to accomplish something big, but the thing they're trying to accomplish, they're no good at, right? They're no good at. And so therefore, when they say, everybody follow me, or this is what I want to create, the people look at that and go, well, you don't know what you're doing in that regard, so I don't want your influence. for me, I have lots of skills and I have lots of, leadership stuff and ability and teaching and all that stuff. But I know for a fact that unless I'm a decent streamer, then I'm not going to be able to connect to streamers. They have to see that I know what I'm doing. They have to see that I'm experimenting. They have to see that I'm trying new stuff, that I'm good at whatever it is, that I'm fixing the problems, that I know how to run stuff, so that they can go, okay, well, at least this guy, he knows what he's doing when it comes to some of this stuff. Maybe he's not got 1,000 million followers, but at least he knows what he's doing, and he's been able to do some stuff. I can at least learn something from him. I will come and listen. That gives me that gives me the gateway to be able to have a conversation with them about bigger things. The competency that I've demonstrated as a streamer is the key that allows me to teach them leadership development, personal development, spiritual development, bigger thoughts, right? Because they have to see that I'm a decent streamer first. I'm going to pause there and ask the question, do you agree with that? Have you seen this demonstrated anywhere? Is this something that you have you have done yourself? Maybe have you made that mistake and ready, fire, aimed, and didn't demonstrate competency first, and you try to put something together? I'd love to hear some feedback before we jump into the actual test. Hi, Pineapple. Hey, Donnie. God can even overrule all of that and choose the person who appears to be the weakest and least important to do great things for him. Oh, for sure. And he does all the time, right? He does all the time. And that doesn't negate the need for leadership or competency. What it does is it shows the competency is miraculous. Right? Like, despite the fact this person is physically or mentally or emotionally or whatever, disabled, they're still able to do stuff. They're still accomplishing things. Things are still happening. The world is still changing as a result of their what they're doing, right? And the God part is, wow, that is clearly not them. It's got to be God, because they by the math, when we do the math, they're not capable of pulling that off, right? And I think, for me anyway, like, I think I'm using myself as an example, right? Someone with me who's got as much damage and as much, kind of baggage and whatnot in my heart and in my life and what have you, to be able to be leading an organization, to be able to smile on stream, to be able to put all this energy in and whatnot, it is miraculous. It's, what I should be, and I've said this before, and I won't repeat the story, but like, I should be dead, or I should be drunk, or I should be divorced. I should be a mess by all rights. Because I know that because I've seen people go through some stuff, the lesser stuff that I went through, and their life it just melted. By God's grace, I'm here, and by God's grace, I'm able to do some stuff. And I think that's to his glory, because he's the one holding me together. My part of competency, putting it together and making it work, I can only go so far, and I can only try so much. It has required miracles the entire way. That is true, right? It's required miracles the entire way. Hello, Carla. Donnie said, posted a TikTok to get over 1,000 hits overnight. Got some interesting replies, not a competency issue. That I think I could answer most, but don't really want to waste the energy. Okay. I'm not totally sure what you mean by the last sentence there. It's important to remember that not everyone is gifted to be a leader. It's okay and good and honorable to do non-leadership work as well. Well, that's why we're adapting, Stephen. That's exactly it. Is where I'm pushing this towards. If you have something that you want to accomplish, that you want to do, and you need people involved, then you need to be the person who recognizes, I need to demonstrate competency in this. I need to show people I know what I'm doing. I need to show people I'm putting in the effort. I need to show people a little bit of success. Then I can start talking to them about partnership. I can start talking to them about like coming in and helping me out in this area. But you have to do the competency thing first. That's where it lands for the everybody, right? It's not just leadership stuff. It's literally everybody. If you want to get a job, they're going to say, are you competent? Show us your competency. Demonstrate on paper and then demonstrate in your first 30 days you are competent at the work. If you want to get a successful relationship, a friend or a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, you're going to have to demonstrate your competency in the arena of relationship, right? You can't be an incompetent relationship person, right? No matter what you're doing, people are going to require you to show that you are putting in the effort and try and at least trying to know what you're doing. Otherwise, they're going to dismiss you. So if you feel dismissed and you feel like you're not getting treated fairly, and you feel like why didn't they let me do that, and why aren't people joining me and whatnot, consider that it might be because you have not demonstrated enough competency, enough energy, enough passion, enough tenacity, enough skill, enough ability that to be able to attract them, to show people that you know what you're doing. So the solution then is to go and say, okay, I need to show people I know what I'm doing. I need to go and make the skill better, demonstrate the skill better, publicize that I know how to do the thing better. Maybe I do amazing things, but nobody knows, right? Show people what I can do, and then walk up and go, hey, could I help? Or could I be in charge of something? Or do you guys want to be on my team? Or, can I do this for money kind of thing? That's where you got to do, Is Xanadu here? Oh yeah, she is. Carla. Yeah. Hi. Stephen says, yeah, for sure. It is good to be competent at your job, whatever job you have, do it as unto the Lord. Yes. That's more about your tenacity and willingness to do it, your willingness to do it with excellence and things like that, for sure. For sure. Debates with atheists, dealing with circular logic, don't really want to waste the energy, don't have the time either. Oh, dude, number one thing to remember about any comment online is that people are not listening. They're only talking. So no matter what you say, they're only using it as an excuse to talk more. They're not learning, they're not listening, they're not going to change their mind. It's impossible. I think it's categorically impossible to change anybody's mind through a comment on the internet. No matter how much you phrase it and how long you write it and how much you craft it, nobody's going to read it and change their mind. So there's no point. Work with the people you have influence over. Work with the people you have connection to personally. Work with the people within your sphere. Those are some minds you can change. It's not just atheists. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Here's the question. Have you stopped to evaluate your level of competency? What abilities do you bring to the table? Those are great questions. Those are great questions. So, have you ever stopped really to ask yourself, am I any good at this? Am I demonstrating to others that I know what I'm doing? That the thing that I think I know what I'm doing, I actually can. Because there are a lot of people who use, for example, art is a great example. They use the excuse that art can be anything. Art can be, in my mind, this is, as an excuse to not be good at it. They'll say things like, well, this is just my style. Well, I don't want to learn the right way to do it, or the official way to do it, or the how everybody else does it, because that's just not how I do things. I'm self-taught, right? And what that does is it says, I don't want to be competent. That's what it means, right? I want to fast track this to say, I'm there already. You need to call me competent. I'm going to show you a bunch of excuses as to why all the things that I'm doing that you don't think are right are perfectly fine, as opposed to, you're right, I'm going to go learn how to do this thing. I had this talk with, an artist who was saying the exact same thing. That's not how I want to do, and that's not how I want to learn, and I'm self-taught, and I don't want to do that kind of style, and I don't want to be hampered by their, other people's imaginations and whatnot. And they drew for about a year, kind of doing their thing. And then they kind of hit a wall. There's something they wanted to do. And they went and learned something. They're like, okay, fine, I'll go learn how to do that. And it immediately made them better. Everything just kind of got a little bit better. And they're like, I'm going to go learn some other stuff. And as they were learning, they started to become better and better and better. Pardon me. And then they came to me and was like, you know what? I was wrong. I needed training, and I was being arrogant and lazy, I have imposter syndrome in a lot of areas, which is to say I don't feel competent. Yeah, well, hold on. Let's push on that a little bit. Comparison is dangerous. Because, comparison really does kill your contentment. There's a very negative side of comparison. One of the things to understand your competency is to compare yourself with others who have the same access to the same materials, access to the same time frame, access to the same, resources and all that stuff, right? To be able to go, okay, so someone in my position, how would they do? And you can kind of look around and you can say, well, I am better at this and I'm stronger at that and I have more of this, or I need to grow in these areas. I think there is a level of comparison that one can and should do when it comes to learning their competency, learning whether or not they're any good at it. It can kill, I partly agree with the artist in that it can kill your creativity, your uniqueness, if you're consistently like, well, I need to look like everybody else. But I think it's very much along the lines of what you'd hear from every coach ever in sports, and that you better learn the foundation, you better learn the fundamentals, then you can go fool around, right? You need to know how to dribble the ball and run and do a free throw. Like, you need to know the basics. Then you can start doing, dunks. Then you can do the behind the back passes. Then you can do all the crazy stuff. But you better dang well know that other stuff really, really well. There's a lot of people out there who would be like, you know what? All I want is I'm going to do the behind the back pass and everybody's going to think I'm cool. But they, that's all they can do. They can't dribble. And so they're actually a problem to the team. In the same way, they should look around and go, well, everybody can dribble and everybody can run and everybody has stamina and everybody can shoot a free throw and everybody can do that. I can't. I'm this one trick pony who will do one thing. I better change my behavior and I better, fix some of those areas. So when you think of it, Samus, and you think of the area in which you are, whatever your area you're talking about, compared to other people in your position, how are you doing, right? Pineapple says, in my place of work, if you come up with a suggestion or idea, you mostly get asked to do it. People over time learn to shut up unless they want a lot of extra work to do. Bad environment, right? Although that being said, there's a lot to be said for people who come up with lots of ideas and then only want the solution and not to work with it. So that's true too. The Dunning-Kruger effect is a heck of a drug. All right, what's that? give me a definition. Pride and lack of humility, deep spiritual issues. Yes, I agree. They certainly are. Yeah, these are issues on the inside. Like today, I saw an issue where the public kept filling in the wrong form as it was not labeled correctly, so asked if there was a way to update the website. It's a big website. Yeah, I mean, it solves a problem. Yeah. Anyway, my point is, and yes, if you have mental health issues or depression or anxiety or some kind of, like your mom was always criticizing you or whatever, then when you look at your own competency, it's going to be colored and the lens is going to be weird. So move outside, right? Move outside of yourself and go, hey, everybody else, how am I doing? Send out the evaluation to other people and go, hey, can you tell me how I'm doing in these regards? That's why we do peer-to-peer evaluations in the class, because it's not just about what we think. It's about, what does everybody else see that I can update and change. You move outside of yourself. Ask some questions. How am I doing in this regard? And then wait for a good answer. The Dunning-Kruger effect is a cognitive bias in which people with limited competence in a particular domain overestimate their abilities. Yeah, okay. All right. Yep, that's... Didn't know that had a name, but yeah, that's it. That's it. Okay, let's do the test. Number A, my ideas often turn into plans. Scale of 1 to 10. When you have an idea, you're sitting around, and not just one of those, oh, that would be nice, but like you're sitting there, I think this would be a good idea. How often can you turn that idea into reality? Right? I'm going to go learn how to do that. I'm going to go put the work into making that happen. I'm going to go find somebody who can accomplish that. I'm going to go pay somebody to do that. I had an idea, and I'm going to Make it happen. How often would you say you do that? Are you just a million ideas and never pull anything off? Are you constantly talking about what you want to do, but never actually doing it? Or do you be like, well, you know what? I'm going to have an idea. I'm going to go try that. I have an idea. I'm going to go try that. Where would you be? Stephen Brown says, I was thinking about this. So you always hear that you shouldn't bring your problems to manager, only solutions. I agree with this to an extent. However, if I could fix it, I wouldn't need to come to the manager. Yep. Some things are managerially locked in, for sure. Yeah, it's a lazy manager who goes, well, then go fix it. Well, yeah, I would if I could. This is a bigger problem than just me, and I got other things to do, and this is getting in the way, right? It's like the manager's job isn't to fill in the pothole on the way. However, if everybody on the way to work is blowing their tires, it is the manager's job to get the pothole filled so that people don't have popped tires, It's not like, well, go out and fill the pothole then, that's not it. That's not it. There's also a reverse Dunning-Kruger effect where someone can be super smart in an area and overestimate how smart and experienced other people are. Oh, that's definitely true. That's definitely true. If you're a teacher, one of the things you got to definitely figure out is that people generally don't know as much as you think they know. So start basic and work your way up. I've seen this happen where in the Bible study, someone will talk about the Greek Hebrew of a text and everyone looks at them like they beamed down for 20 years in a tricorder. And it's not only just that. It's like, as in Isaiah, and you look around and nobody's read Isaiah. As as the prophets, what do you mean by prophet? Use the word apocalypse. They're like, oh, you mean that thing where, the Terminator comes and kills us all? Is that what you're talking about? Even just vocabulary, standard vocabulary that you use in whatever your area is, really learning how to dumb it down and to be more clear. I've said it before, try to explain it to a 6-year-old. When you're going to start talking about something, start with just assuming they have the understanding of a 6-year-old, and they'll go, no, I understand that. No, I get that. Yeah, for sure. Okay, keep going. And then you can start adding complexity. But you gotta start way back, way back. All right. So the question here is how often do your ideas turn into plans? Are you an idea person, or does that actually show up and you actually get something done? I think I'm fairly good at this. This is one of the reasons I'm consistently, experimenting and trying and doing new things, and you'll see things manipulate and I'll have a new, for example, I wanted to learn how to do Lumia. I'm going to go learn how to do this incredibly complicated thing where my stream fills up with water and I look like I'm underwater and bubble effects happen and it changes the, the color and all, just to see if I can do it, because I want to learn how to do Lumia better. And I worked on it and I did it and I figured it out, and it turned out that it was just a big pile of work and that it didn't really add anything to stream, but I learned it. I figured it out. I had an idea, turned it into a plan, made it work. So how often do you do that? Number B, I can figure out how to finish a job I start. That's a big one. Good gravy. Some people really struggle with finishing a job. They either they lack tenacity, they get bored, or they overcomplicate it to the place where even they don't know what they're doing anymore, or the idea had more. They allow the idea to morph and morph and morph before it's not even their idea anymore, and they don't have any passion for it, or it's complex, and so they hit a bunch of walls of things they can't do, and instead of sourcing it out or asking for help or trying to find someone to do the hard part, they just keep banging themselves against the wall. And they just eventually go, well, this is impossible, right? Whereas they could have just went, okay, on Fiverr for $7, I can push past this wall. But they didn't think someone else could do it, right? Or they completely lacked resources, right? So the question is, when you start a project, you have an idea, you ever get to the end of it? And I think things like, streaming and whatever, that's perpetual. What do you consider an end? I would say that an end would be, well, I can do stream functions. Stream has the bells and whistles that I want. Stream is at the quality level that I want. Stream right now, as it stands, is pretty good. It's that to me, that's finished a job. Then you have an idea and you can adapt it. But when you go streaming, when you're online, I can do it, and I know what to do, and I know where to post, and I know how to go live, and I know how to write things, and I know how to use all the social media to make it work. Or is it you always are like a quarter of the way done, right? You can get the stream started, but things are broken. You can get the stream started, but nobody knows you did it. You can get the stream started, but you have no idea what you're happening on there, or what's going to happen for that stream, right? That's not done, right? That's not finished. Or for, and there's a million other things. So that's the question. At a scale of 1 to 10, can you figure out how to finish a job that you start? How often do you finish things? Or do you have a bunch of projects on the shelf and things you've thrown away and, Lego that's half built and like a model that's half built and like a cabinet that's half built and your tools are all half put away and your room is half clean and your bed is half made. Can you actually pull something off, like get to the end of the thing? Or do you get bored halfway through or distracted halfway through? Can you pull it? Can you finish the job that you start? And number C, I'm good at solving problems. Competency, right? Now, and I'm going to say this again because it's important to know, you don't have to be the one to solve the problem, okay? Can you figure out how to get the problem solved? That's the question. It's not like I'm so good at everything that if a problem comes up, I can do it. That is not what I'm asking. To be a good person, to be successful in this world, to be someone who can get a good job and get a good relationship and understand how the world works and work with it, you have to be able to figure out how to solve the problem, right? So let's say, for example, you're at home and the router breaks or the microwave breaks or your fridge breaks or your car breaks, right? One type of person is going to go, oh no, that stinks. I guess I'll have to buy a new microwave, or I guess I'll have to buy a new fridge. Oh, I guess I'll have to, tinker with my car for the next 500 years. I guess I'm going to have to spend 17 hours on my router. You know what I mean? That's or you can go, you know what? I'm not going to do this. I don't have time for this. I'm going to go buy a new router. Or I'm going to go to the mechanic, or I'm going to go and look up how to fix the microwave. Is it easily fixable? Well, don't fix your microwave. You could kill yourself. So something else, but like, I'm going to go look this up to see if I can get it done. You don't have to be the one to solve it. Can you figure out how to get to a solution? If you are consistently throwing up your hands and going, everything's always broken all the time and I don't know what I'm doing and everything sucks and it's just the constantly the what do they call it, the Murphy's Law. Like, I live in Murphy's Law. If anything goes wrong, it's gonna go wrong. It's gonna go wrong with me. Or are you the person that's like, well, I am prepared for these things to happen and I know what if I catastrophize a little, in a healthy way, I think I can figure out how to get some solutions. We can get some things done, even if things go bad. In this world, and I feel like I'm talking to a 12-year-old, in this world, kid, regardless of how cool you are, and regardless of how pretty you are, and regardless of how, fancy you are, or how rich you are, or how talented you are, doesn't matter. Regardless of how much you've got going for you, one thing the world wants from you is to understand that you know what you do, what you're doing, right? Whatever it is, they're going to look at you and they're going to say, that person sure is cool and attractive and talented and funny and nice and able to do things. Are they doing them? Like, are they able to do things that they want to know your competency. So don't be the idea guy who's only ever coming up with ideas and never ever does anything. Don't just simply start a million projects and never follow through. You get a reputation, right? You get a reputation as someone who doesn't follow through. Then people are going to ask you to help because you won't follow through. You'll show up the first 3 weeks, but you won't show up the last 3 weeks because you never show up for the last half of anything, right? And figure out ways that you can solve problems, even if it just means, sourcing it out or buying something that, isn't going to break or whatever it is. Figure out a way to solve problems. If you can do this, your world is going to be wide open, because you'll be someone who can come up with an idea, make it happen, finish that idea off, and when things come up, get the problems out of the way. So it'll be a good project. It'll be a good whatever it is. You're a competent person. Hopefully that makes sense, and hopefully it's helpful. It seems really basic, but at the same time, I know plenty of people who don't think this way. Oh, I can't do anything, so therefore I got to get other people to do it, right? Or I'm just a starter. I just start things and then hand them off, and I just like starting things. I never follow through. Or I'm more than happy to help, but I can never show up on time. I can never get there for the last half. I'm always distracted, whatever. It's just they don't follow through. Or for that, or any problem shuts them down. Something happens, they're going, they're okay, but as soon as they hit a problem, they fall off the bike and they're done. They don't want to go anymore. Those are people that you're not going to partner with. Those are people who aren't going to get the good job. Those are people who are not going to get to growth in the area that they want to grow. You got to have competency. Let me pray, and then we'll jump into conversation. God, thanks for this day. Thank you for making it so that we who are weak and we who are ignorant and we who are not omnipotent or omniscient, that you have given us capabilities because we are made in your image, because we have your breath inside of us. We are people who can do things. Thank you for giving us people that teach us and people that walk with us and people that convict us and help us and stand in beside us. I pray that you'd help us to have listening ears and a humble heart, but at the same time, to be able to demonstrate to the world and to the people that we care about that we care about them enough to try to be competent in what we do, to follow through, and to have that kind of reputation. Because we know we reflect you. We want to do things as though we're working for you, which means we're not going to stop halfway. We're not going to quit on you. We want to keep going. So help us have the energy, the willingness, the stick-to-itiveness to do that which in the world you've called us to do, to figure out our priorities so we're not distracted, but then to follow through. In Jesus' name, amen. Yes. What you said. I used microwave. I'm like, don't fix your microwave. If your microwave breaks, either take it to somebody or throw it away. Don't go farting around on the side of there. You'll kill yourself. Yes. That was a bad example. Hey, Jesse. So I'd love to hear some feedback on this. Just kind of, what do you think? How are you doing? Do you agree with me? I didn't get a lot of feedback while I was talking, but sometimes when I talk, people, use me like a radio, which is totally fine. I totally get it. I'm a second streamer, second monitor streamer, or even in your pocket, and that's fine with me. I'm happy to do it. But if you want to talk about something, now's the time. Every stream is always an AMA. You can ask me anything at any point about anything, and I'm happy to talk about it. But I'd love to hear some reflection on what we just talked about too. When we are done our little discussion, I'm going to go on to Twitch and we're going to play Minecraft because it works again. We worked on it and it seems to be fine. It was a goofy problem that we couldn't have seen coming. No chance we could have seen it coming because it was weird, very weird. And so apparently it's been held together today with duct tape and spit and hope, and then we're going to get it officially fixed soon enough. I'm usually pretty good at what I started. Generally don't start something if it seems beyond me. Well, that's a good thing. Kind of knowing your limitations is a good thing. But so is stepping outside of your comfort zone, right? Like for me, I like doing that. I like learning new things. One of the things I dislike is not knowing something. I hate it when I don't know something. It's kind of it's from like my kids will be like, "Hey Dad, what's the definition of this word?" And be like, "I don't know." And I hate that I don't know. Like it couldn't have been a word I've ever heard before, but like it's I want to know. Or if I'm sitting here and I'm doing something and it's not working, I feel like I should be able to fix it. So I'm going to try to fix it. You know what I mean? Like I want to know that I can do that, which is why on stream or on Discord coming up soon, we're going to be doing a live OBS fix day thing where me and some Taco members are going to sit there and talk about OBS and the problems and how to set it up and how to make it better and how to fix some things because I want people to be more competent. I've spent years trying to figure out how OBS works, so I may as well help other people, and ditto with people who are on the team, right? We want to know how to do stuff. Pretty good. It was good. Your stuff helps spur me on in learning of coding and make my career transition. Oh, far out. Cool. Thank you for saying that. That means a lot. You're making a career transition. That's tough. Been doing the same job for 10 years. It's a good job, but ready to grow into something new. Good for you. Good for you. That's hard to do. I don't know how old you are, but I'll tell you that starting again when you've got, a few decades under you, it gets more difficult. I'm just glad that I'm a passenger in my own life. And that always sounds bad. People are like it's like, "Oh, that sounds terrible. Aren't you supposed to be the leader?" I'm not. I'm a passenger in my life. I am very much the Jesus is my co-pilot. I'm not a co-pilot. Jesus is in the cockpit. He's running the thing, and I'm in the back asking for drinks. That's how that's working. And so far so good, I guess. I mean, it's I've been through a lot and I would never sign anybody up for 3/4 of it. But here I am, Here I am, and it wasn't my idea, so there you go. I get to go to Texas and have barbecue on someone else's dime soon. That was cool. So yeah, it's I don't know if I'd ever, I literally don't know if I would ever suggest anybody live the way I've lived. Like, yeah, if it was another person going through what I was going through, I would probably, ask them to pull the chute a lot sooner than I did. Think of things like, why is there 4 different ways of spelling for well? Dude, yes. I was thinking of things like decorating, painting, taking apart the lawnmower to fix it, unclog the vacuum cleaner, shift heavy furniture around. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, okay, yeah. Although I think you could probably clean the vacuum cleaner. Right? Oh, wait. Are you saying you can do that or not do that? Pretty good at finishing what I started. I just don't generally start something that seems beyond me. You mean like lifting heavy furniture or fixing the vacuum cleaner? I think you could unclog the vacuum cleaner. You could do that. I believe in you. It's daunting, but I don't want to be doing this job in my 60s. Bro, I have no retirement at all. I have... My savings is dwindling because I only make less than half of the income I need for my bills every month. I have no prospect of future employment. And right now as it stands, no way to move any of that forward myself. I am utterly in the hands of other people, right? Completely. If Bernard and Terry and Amanda and all these people that I know, if they don't help, I'm toast. Or at least my life wouldn't have gone the way that I wanted it or thought it would. But it never does. You're not the pilot of your own life. Well, it's kind of cool that you are helping to be the co-pilot for someone else's life, though. That's kind of good. It's not that I don't want to work in my 60s. I'm just not doing this job. Oh, I hear you, man. I hear you. Yeah. Like I resolved a long time ago, once, you know, about 5-6 years in, maybe even 3-4 years in to ministry, that there's no such thing as retirement for this job, for the job that I was doing. There are lots of pastors out there that have a great job, great retirement, great package, great all. Yes, they're lovely. So please don't make me think that all pastors are. But I know for me, because of the churches that I was part of, there was no raises. There was no, you know, there was no like saving. It was just crisis. And, and so therefore I knew, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to live and work until I die, or someone hands me a lottery ticket that wins. Like, that's just the way it's going to be. The vac cleaner has a giant Lego set in disguise. It is a giant Lego set in disguise. You're right. It's funny because you start taking things apart and you're like, wow, that's a lot of parts. Holy moly. I totally get that. Yeah, I had a speaker down here. It was a subwoofer, and it ran the speaker set. And I went inside, and I'm like, okay, this thing's broken. It doesn't work. So I opened it up, took a look, and I saw a capacitor that was like leaning to the side. I'm like, oh, that's probably it. So I got my soldering gun out because I took electrical engineering. I can solder something. I went boop, 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 and I think I got it, and I put it all back together. Took like pieces upon pieces, trying to remember where everything is. Like 8 kinds of screws. Why do you need that many kinds of screws, man? Like one kind of screws is all you need. And they did start it up, and it was deader than it was the first time. So I'm like, I put it all together, took it all apart, took like 3 hours to do it, and made it worse. So now I have a different speaker, and that one's in the garbage. You just do it. I used to be like that when I was a kid, man. My parents wouldn't give me anything because I would take it apart. Like, I'd get it, like they'd give me a present. Like, here's a stereo. I remember I got my stereo. We used to call it a ghetto blaster because, you know, I lived in the ghetto. I did not. But anyway, the here it is, and it would come with a caveat. You know what I mean? Like, okay, listen, don't take this apart. It works fine. It's brand new. You don't need to figure out how it works. You use it like a radio. Play your tapes. Play like get a whole talk. Like, okay, I won't take it apart until it starts making a noise that I don't like. Then I'm going to fix it. And it never fixes, ever. It only ever got worse. And I'm always got extra pieces. Weird that they added all those extra pieces in there. Seems inefficient to me. What a waste of time. Didn't need those anyway. Same experience with a synth. Output jack went bad. I managed to order the part and replace it. Then nothing at all worked. Yeah. Yep. It's all digital stuff and like all that. It's also finicky, right? It's also finicky. I could probably safely say that I'm no leader either. I wish I could try to be a leader. However, no one is giving me the chance to see the responsibilities of a leader. Maybe I shouldn't even try. Dude, I'm telling you. Okay, DJ. Go and demonstrate competency. That's what I'm talking about, man. Like, nobody's going to give you the chance to be a leader if you don't demonstrate competency. Nobody's going to let you be in charge of something until they can see that you can serve. Nobody's going to allow you to do your idea until you have demonstrated your ability to follow through on somebody else's idea, right? You have to be a servant before you're a leader. All the time. Any leader who has not been a servant is going to be a bad leader. There's always one screw that no one on planet Earth has a screwdriver for. Dude, I got this now. I got this set, and it's got like a gajillion little screwdriver tops, and some of them are very weird. Like, I got triangles in there. I got like star shapes, and I don't mean like the cross. I mean like an actual star. You know, there's some weird looking things in there. Every now and again you find a triangle, like, triangle screw. Didn't know there were triangle screws. All right. No, DJ. You need to listen. Look, right here. Man, go serve. Serve the snot out. Don't be a leader. Don't lead. Don't set yourself up as a leader right now. Go serve. Go help someone else. Go find someone else's vision and bring that to reality. Demonstrate your willingness to work with others, and to serve other people. Then we can start talking about what you can lead. Go do that first. Okay? Serious. Well, that's the problem with leading and serving, man. It's just like, to lead you must learn to serve, and then you're like, you're a leader, and then they pull bait and switch you, and all of a sudden you're like, actually now you're a servant of more people. Okay, now I'm just serving a lot. Okay, but in a different way. Fine, I'm always a servant. Probably something in the Bible about that. Dude. This stream is short. But if you guys don't come up with something to say, this stream is going to be short. And that's okay. I don't mind having a little bit of a break. But I would definitely love to spend some time chatting. It is. I love talking with you guys. I really, really do. But I don't want to force it. And if you guys got other places to be and you got, whatever, that you don't want to talk, fine. Totally fine. We can have, I'm okay with days that last a really, because we had one the other day, right? It went so long, I ended up having to be late for Twitch because we were having such a long talk. That just means that on other days, we were going to have less talk. And it's only going to be, it's going to be shorter. That's okay. Yeah. One screw, no screwdriver for? I don't get it. Bro, if I don't know if you've ever taken apart electronics, or go try to take apart a Nintendo. I took apart a Wii the other day, a few weeks ago, because I was trying to fix the CD because it wouldn't read at all. So I was going to go in there and clean the little laser, and because I saw something online, if you hit it with do this, and then hit it with some alcohol. It had craziest screws, man, craziest screws, and in weird spots. So as a leader, how do you deal with people who want to serve but don't have that level of competence or consistency? How do you deal with people who want to serve but don't have a level of competence or consistency? Be real with them, right? I would say that one of the things that you need to do as a leader is to know the people, get to know what they're doing. So you'd be like, hey, so what, I want to help and I want to be that. Cool. Demonstrate for me or show me your competency in that, right? And I've said this, somebody will say, I want to help you with your this. I'm like, cool. Send me 4 examples of what you've done in the past, right? And it sounds rude on the surface, right? They volunteered their time. Who do you think you are saying no? Take the volunteer. No, it's I believe that the quality of what I'm doing is critically important and I want to have it done right. Your volunteer, I love it. Thank you for volunteering. Demonstrate your competency. Show me that you know what you're doing. Show me that your style is going to match my style. And half the time, 90% of the time that's happened, they don't send anything. The conversation ends right there, right? They wanted to do something. I don't know what they want to do, but then, the 10% that do send, only 5% of them actually, show up and actually have something I can work with, right? And so I would say know the person, know their skill quality, know their set, and then if you want them in there and you need them and you're putting people, put them somewhere where they can learn under somebody that is better than them, or somewhere they can do less damage. So they feel honored, they feel loved, they feel like they're part of the system, and but give them a playpen that they can not wreck too many things in. And that still has value, right? Like, it's not just like, this kind of person is like, I want to help with whatever. And you're like, well, we don't need help with that since you can't do it. But could you please hand out this? Could you please set up chairs? Could you please, put up the posters, right? And they're like, you're involved, but there's not too much damage you can do. And then you can demonstrate your heart of service. Because if they go, no, that's not what I'm here for. You go, yeah, you were going to be a problem. You were going to cause problems. That word, the thing you just said about how you wanted a more important job, was going to come up later. So therefore, we dodged a bullet. But if it's like, okay, cool, and then they go do that and they feel like they're part of it, and you're kind of, wow, that person really, they demonstrated right away that they wanted to do it. They did it with a good attitude. Well, next time, let's give them a push. Let's give them a little, hey, why don't you go learn how to do this and see what you can do? You said you wanted to draw something. Well, now here's your chance. You helped out last time. Draw something for us so that we can take a look, or edit a video for us so we can see what you've learned. And if their answer is, well, I haven't really done anything, you go, well, then you can't do that because you didn't go learn. But in the meantime, since you were putting up the posters, if you were learning how to make a video, let's talk about it. Let people get involved in whatever area and don't let them wreck the project. I have another secret. I took apart. The only ever I had was the old fan. Replaced the fan in my Switch. Had to buy a special screwdriver to do it. Yeah. It's true. Yeah, Nintendo had some weird screws. I have a Wii, my CG controller. I had to fix once, but it wasn't hard. Have you ever seen how people fix the drift issue? What a pain! Holy moly, that's a pain. Easier to buy a new controller, but good golly. My secret method is if you're an individual and you're in charge of something or you have to plan something, make the plan infallible to the place where the people you're asking to do something, if they don't follow through, the project can still go on, right? Project can still go on. That's how I planned everything for years and years and years and years and years after being let down by some folks I gave critical jobs. So it's like, okay, so we're going to have this live event. Okay, I'm going to make sure that if an MC doesn't show up, I can MC it. If two of the bands don't show up, we have something else we can do there, or we're gonna make the night less or slow the night. If the sound guy doesn't show up, I've got plans. I have a remote control, so I can run it from a different place. Like I make it so that even if it's just a skeleton version, it can still happen. It can still happen. Pineapple says, "Oh, that's a lot of work with other people for sure. It makes people worried about turning something down in case it affects them later, even if they know that particular thing is not good fit for them." P.S. I'm currently cooking roast veg with smoky paprika and chicken with coconut and mango sauce. Ooh, you can keep your mango. You can keep your mango sauce. I'm okay with not having all the rest of that. Sounds good. Not a mango guy at all. But you got to mail some to Steven. Put it in an envelope. Yeah. So that sounds cynical because it is. But if that event is important and you need to pull it off, make sure you understand the skeleton that needs to make it happen, and either put the most important, you can trust them with your life people there, or figure out how you can do it all by yourself. That's how I did it. And there were often times where people would show up or people wouldn't show up, or they wouldn't do their job, or they didn't take it happened a lot when I was in church. And we'd explain, we'd have a meeting, we'd talk about it. And I distinctly remember one time where I put in all the work and I had a big event, and the person who was in charge of part of it, can't remember what, they literally said to me, if I knew we were going to put in this much effort, I would have done my job. I'm like, so I was killed by the culture of that had already been established in that organization, right? It was everybody here, only does pittance a little bit, makes it crappy. I show up and I put my whole heart into it and make something good, and they're like, oh, okay, maybe I should have tried. Literally, that's what the person said. What do mangoes do to me? I can't stand the smell or the taste. The occasional mango flavored toffee, I think I tried once. It was all right. You know what I mean? But I'm not a mango guy. I'm not a guava guy. Don't like guava. The coconut's okay in some things, but mostly coconut to me tastes like lip balm. So it's not, it's not like great. That's what I think. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to I'm gonna take a break now. It'd be kind of fun. Or we can keep reading. I don't like coconuts. My mom does, though. Yeah, they're all right. I mean, you put them in the right thing, they're good. But if, like a coconut-only drink, nah. I was given the responsibility to manage some third-party support agents that were historically not the best. I eventually got pulled off of it and was thrown under the bus because they weren't going well. They put 2 more experienced managers over on the team, and it still was going horribly. Yeah, that's nice vindication, right? Like, all right. Like, I was bailing water. If you want to go bail water too, okay. I could fix the boat. Well, no. Okay, try. We've been bailing for hours. It doesn't work. Okay, good to know. Wish I would have told you in the first place. And he never got an apology, and I still bear the stigma from that company, even though it wasn't necessarily my fault. That sucks. Yeah, it sucks. Well, and is that a competency issue? Is that like they put you in a place where you couldn't have done the job? Was it a leadership issue? Is that they were like, they didn't give you the equipment to do the job? Was it a communication issue? Was it like you didn't even know what you were supposed to be doing when you got there? Or you didn't know what, how you were supposed to fix it? Or, was it a financial issue? They didn't give you the money to pull it off? You could have done it if you got the money and the resources. What let you down? Or was it just, yes, all of those things? It was all of those things. I'm just like, yeah, I hear you. How do you feel about mangoes is exactly how I feel about bacon. So bacon also has a bad reputation for being unhealthy, which doesn't help it. Gasp, I say. But you're right, bacon will kill you. It's not great for you. But mangoes and bacon together. Yeah. Like marmalade. Nobody would eat an orange peel. Nobody's just going to eat an orange peel. But for some reason, you put it in jam, and it's the best thing ever. I think you need an excuse as to why the team wasn't doing well, and really, if they have an unhealthy organization, Stephen, and if they are, like the organization I was just talking about for me, that was used to being, just half-arsing everything all the time. If the organization is blame shifting, like everybody blame shifts and nobody ever takes responsibility, then you meet somebody who's gonna be like, yeah, I should have done better at that, or is whatever. They're either gonna blame shift until it hits somebody, or they're going to pass the buck until it stops. You know what I mean? That's not a great organization. Probably because within that organization, there were probably people who got unsummarily dismissed, or there were punishments that were no good, or when people stuck their neck out and criticized things, they were ostracized. There was like an unhealthy level of something going on in that organization that made it so that when people did something wrong, they would hide it, or they would shift it, or they would do something instead of going, hey, you know what? I tried. I didn't do very good. I wish it would have worked, but it didn't. Or, hey, you set me up for failure. Fix the job. It's your fault, But they weren't harsh with the new managers that took over, even though they didn't improve. They just decided, well, these agents are working out, so they got a new third-party company. Yeah, well, And then again, in this world, people are just going to suck sometimes. People you love suck sometimes. People that have not sucked for a long time, sometimes they will. And then you're like, what happened, man? You're like, yeah, well, sometimes I suck. Okay. Yeah, I get it. Me too. Life. Amazing grace. That's why we need it. That's why we need it. Okay, dudes, I'm gonna go take a break. I will see you at 2:00 over on Twitch. Next week, by the way, I'm going to We are gonna multi-stream. I'm gonna try to make it happen over the weekend or on Friday or something, and it'll be multi-stream. So if you like it better on YouTube, by all means go to YouTube, stay on YouTube, and I will try to have the stream figured out for you guys. And if you want to come back to Twitch, come back to Twitch. We will figure this out one way or another. We're gonna figure out how to do this multi-stream thing. But thank you very much for being here, and I'm gonna go take a little bit longer break than usual. That'll be nice. I can eat a food, say hi to my family. And then I'll see you guys at 2. We're going to play Twitch versus Minecraft. So you guys can do interactive Minecraft with me. And supposedly it even works. That'll be a nice change. All right. I'll see you guys later.